Hello, Jessica Bennett here from Meyer Library. Today we're going to talk about evaluating materials, so the research that you found, using the ACT UP method. First, I do want to mention why it is so vital that you evaluate. It's an important piece of the process. As we all know, we can find so many things online, but that abundance of information does not equal quality information. You also want to make sure that the things you are finding are actually relevant and good for your topic, and we want to do everything we can to reduce the spread of false information. So this is the ACT UP method of evaluation that I am going to walk through with you today. So it's just a handy little acronym that you can use to mentally go through some steps when you find things that you want to use. We're going to go through each of those letters in more detail, starting with A, author. This is what I begin with, and if you can't do anything else, I highly recommend that you do a little digging on the author of the piece of information you are examining. And this could be an individual, it could be a group, or it could be a whole organization that is responsible for that piece of information. And background is important, and it's usually pretty easy to get to. You can Google people and organizations to get much of this information on this slide. So, academic affiliation. Do they work for an institution or university? Academic degrees. Where did they go to school? What are their degrees in? Publications. Have they published other articles, books, etc. on this topic? Are there life experiences or other credentials that make them an expert on what they are producing? That is what we want to check for. Do they actually have the authority to back up what they are saying? Next on our list, we have C for currency, and this refers to when a piece of information was written or published. And that is going to be relevant considering the nature of your topic. So if I am doing a historical review on the Civil War, well, I'm probably going to want things that were actually published during the Civil War, in addition to anything current that would be relevant. Whereas if you are examining trends in healthcare or technology, you're going to want more current, so maybe just the last 5 years. So this is important to note with the nature and scope of your topic. Next we have T for truth. And this is going to be most applicable to websites, and we are going to dive more into this in the website evaluation video. But just in general, you want to try and verify any claims that a piece of information has made. How accurate is it? Do you see obvious spelling and grammatical errors? That is a big red flag. More on that next. The U, this is unbiased, and I really like the next two letters in this acronym, unbiased, because bias is something we deal with every single day as human beings. It exists, it is, we need to recognize it, and for the most part, we want our information to be as impartial as possible. So looking for that, and a lot of that can tie back into where are you getting your sources? What type of source is it? And you also want to really look at the intent of a piece of information. Was it written merely to inform or present findings of a study, survey, etc.? Is it an opinion piece? Is it trying to sell you something? Those can be indicators that it's probably going to be a little more leaning on a scale of bias. So something really good to consider. And last but not least, we have privilege. And this can really tie back to the author or the creator of a piece of information. And you want to consider, are these the only people writing on the topic? If they are, what is stopping others from being experts on this certain topic? you may want to examine who is missing from a conversation. And sometimes that might be obvious and sometimes it may not. But it's good to hold in your mind as you're sifting through things, okay, I see all of these people represented here. What about this group of people, this group of ethnicities, race, religion, gender, etc. The long, long list. And you also may want to look at what subject terms are associated with your topic. Sometimes our subject terms don't always keep up with the most current accepted language, and that can be telling. And this is something that is more difficult to quantify in an evaluation, but I think it's vital to our continuation of the scholarly conversation to understand, okay, this exists, let's look for it, maybe what can be done better next time. So that is the ACT UP evaluation in a nutshell. I will say that practice makes perfect, and the more times you walk through this with the things you are finding, the easier it becomes. So thank you for joining me, and good luck with your research.